Welcome. I'm so excited to have Alicia with us today. She's an incredible member of our community, Successful Women Entrepreneurs. And I have to tell you guys, I've seen Alicia crushing it in the online space. She's been incredible, supporting so many women in really being able to build up a business online and build up income online. So, welcome, Alicia. We're excited to have you here. I just want to ask you a couple of questions, about how you got started and your journey. So take us back to the early beginnings. How did you get into the online space and start your business?
Well, first, thank you for having me. Thank you for your kind words. So, the very, very beginning, I would say, was probably like June of 2024. And right before I started exploring this space, I was on a vacation with my family, and I had a little one. So, I have a daughter, and at the time, she was 3, and my son was 1, going to be 2. And we were on this vacation, and I remember telling my husband, like, it is such a difference to have another child, and I don't know if we're going to be able to travel anymore because between your income and my income and how expensive it's getting, like, I'm devastated. I don't think we can do this. And I remember just feeling so sad coming back, and I was like, it's great to go on vacation, but you don't want to come back on a sense of dread like that. You should be coming back to a life that you're really satisfied living. And I love what I do as a mental health clinician. I love being a supervisor. I've climbed the ladder here, and that's great, but it's still not enough to support our family and the things we want to do for them. It's so important for me to have my kids experience those special moments and make those memories together. So when I came back, I was just on a mission to try and find a way to earn an income outside of what I already do, because being a therapist, like, it's heavy stuff. And I
Yeah.
used to work in private practice. I work in a psychiatric hospital now. I do that full time. And then when COVID happened, I left private practice because I was pregnant with my daughter, but I didn't go back. So, and when I had my second child, I was like, I'm definitely not going back now because they deserve my attention. So, besides like working my full time job, I want to be home with my kids. So, I was like, okay, I don't want another job. I need to figure out how to bring in an added income. How do I do this? And just like everybody else, I'm on Facebook all the time, but doom scrolling and not doing anything useful, like just sitting on my couch at the end of the day, like feeling sorry for myself for not being able to figure this out. And what happened was somebody on Facebook that I'm an acquaintance with was raving about like making money online through digital marketing. I didn't even know what that was, to be honest with you. But I just, every single day, there would be like some kind of post being like, oh, I made this and it's so simple and only a few hours a day and like stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like this sounds like a scam. But like the more consistently I saw it, the more I became intrigued. And it was somebody that I don't know super well, but I know that she's good at what she does. So I said, you know what? Maybe I should just reach out. Like, I think she's reputable and let me get more information. So come to find out, she was promoting a digital marketing program that actually taught you digital marketing. So I could both learn it and promote it at the same time, aka affiliate marketing, which at the time it wasn't necessarily that because it was an MRR product. So it was 100%
Hmm.
profit, that kind of thing. And so I sat on it for a while because it was a really big investment. And it was just when you're looking to make an income online, like, you don't have money.
Yeah.
You're looking to make money. So I sat on it for probably a month, and then I finally sat down with my husband and I said, I think I want to do this. It makes sense. I can do it from my phone. I can still be with our kids. Like, not much is going to change on our end, like logistically speaking. So his response was, you can do anything you put your mind to. And he was super supportive. So literally just use a credit card. I made the payment, and I just immediately dove in and I started to learn. And like, I come from a background where I went to school for many years to get licensed the way I am. So this to me was like going back to school. So it was all about, like, I was excited. It was something new. I've been in this field for a long time. So it was just like a really cool thing. So I learned a lot about it. I learned a lot about myself in the process. And I spent the first year promoting that product and stepping into the TikTok world, which was not the best idea. But at the time, I was embarrassed that I was doing this. And anybody that knew me, that knew I was doing this, was like, what are you doing? Like, this
Yeah.
is, there's a lot of judgment, and you just got to like brush that off your shoulder, focus on making your family a priority, believe in yourself, have the right mindset. And that was everything I learned that first year. And I also learned that that platform was not for me. So January of 2025, I came back to Facebook. I moved it into professional mode. I hired a coach, and I said, listen, like, I'm making sales here and there, but I'm not really doing as much as I would like, and I'm working very hard. So I learned the ins and outs of Facebook from a professional setting, and I learned how to promote my product on Facebook. and I did okay, but I wasn't passionate about it. Like I learned what I could learn from it, but I felt like the hype wasn't there, the energy wasn't there, and you just have to be passionate about anything you're trying to sell.
Definitely.
And I'm just very like I'm big on integrity and authenticity, and if I don't, it's not that I didn't believe in it, but I just felt like I could do more.
Yeah.
So, or I want to say it was around June, July, I got into AI. And that was like my passion. I love photos. I love content creation. I discovered that I could clone myself in AI form and I could create characters. And it was just really cool. And I felt passionate about it. And I said, you know what? Like, this is what I want to do. And instead of doing one high ticket product, I want to do low ticket. So that way I can meet my audience where they're at, like the way the world is right now. I just felt like it was more of me. And then as soon as I got into AI, I started making sales daily.
Wow.
So it was my passion. It was what I was learning because every single product that I'm an affiliate to, I'm learning at the same time. So I'm
Mhm.
learning, I'm promoting it, I'm demoing it, I'm showing people what I'm learning. I'm not just being salesy. There are things I 100% believe in. And I'm building an audience for myself. And I have customers that will come to me when they see what I promote and they'll want to know more and they'll come back and I'm just building like really great relationships. And in the beginning, I wasn't doing that. I was just being a little too salesy. I was making my posts. I was like dead scared of going into the DMs. I didn't want to do it. And now I talk to multiple people a day, and like people that purchase from me end up becoming friends because we
Yes.
all are women who are like minded. We all want the same thing, right? We're all trying to build an income in the online space. We're all like kind of beginners or maybe in the middle, and we all kind of want to lift each other up. So like I
Yeah.
met such wonderful people in this space and I've learned so much about myself. I want to say back in August, I joined like a messenger group and I met some people that do really well in this space and they mentored me and I did that for a while and I just learned so much in the process, but I primarily focus on affiliate only because again I'm a full-time worker, I have kids,
Mhm.
but what I did do myself that I was really proud of was I created my own prompt pack. I started learning how to do prompts. So like the writing of like what you want your photo to be.
Yes.
It gets really complicated, but I spent so much time learning about it. So I created my own and I created this pack of like all of these holiday prompts and high level editorial prompts. And I put it all together. I put it in my storefront and I started making sales. And it
That
was
is
just really
amazing.
cool on my own. Right. So that's what I
Yeah.
did. And primarily it's still affiliate, but I can at least say I created my own. And then when my kids are a little bit older, I can do more of that. And that's just really exciting for me.
Well, congratulations, Alicia. I love your journey. You already answered so many questions that I have for you. But what I love is that, and this conversation resonates with me so much, and I know it's going to resonate with our audience because you came into this space. Number one, you took a chance on yourself. You had a supportive spouse, which is incredible. And it's important that we as women have some sort of a support system, even if that means making connections online, like you also did as well. And then you invested in yourself and made and decided to hire a coach. What I love about you, though, is that you pivoted into something that you were passionate about. And a lot of people are stuck either doing the same things that's not working and they don't know when that time is to pivot. So kudos to you for doing that. And so Alicia is an expert marketer now. She's dialed in on all of the systems, she's got the coaching. So tell us how you found out about successful women entrepreneurs.
So when I hired the coach to teach me more about how to make sales on Facebook, that was when I started getting into groups because I was like, okay, I can promote in my profile, but what more can I do? And that's when I was introduced to groups. And that was when I had to really kind of like narrow down my audience and figure out like who is it? Is it like just beginners, moms like me that work and are stressed out? Or is it also individuals like myself that are already in the space, are already entrepreneurs, and are still like trying to find their place, or even just trying to branch off of what they're already doing, or even just wanting to get seen more. So, like, it made sense to go into your group because a lot of women in there already have their own businesses, but they're still not getting seen. And
Yeah.
then I can incorporate what I'm learning through my AI and through like AI twins and whatnot. And I can show them these products that are going to help them brand better and also do more of the heavy lifting so you're not glued to your phone because that's another piece that I became passionate about was trying to eliminate like obsessively being on my phone trying to make
Yeah.
sales all day because that's defeating the purpose, right? Like you want to spend more time with your family, not be on your phone. So like learning these systems is really important, both face forward and faceless. And this year I've been more focused on the faceless aspect of it. And that just seems to be like where we're going in 2026. And a
Mhm.
lot of business owners want to do that. They want to just replicate themselves and they want to brand themselves and then they want to be seen that way. So going in your group just made sense because I tend to target women, and I tend to target women that are either already doing marketing like myself and are like learning from one another, or they're in this space doing something else but aren't fully where they want to be. It just
Mhm.
ends up being this like really great collaboration.
That's awesome. So one key point that I took away from that is that you really dialed in on your ideal avatar. And so you position yourself to be seen in front of the correct marketplace. So I want to know a little bit about that process. So when you started posting inside of successful women entrepreneurs, what did you do differently that helped you get traction? Because we find some people, they want to participate in groups and maybe they're posting, but they're not getting the results that you get.
When I first started, I wasn't getting very many results. This was like in the beginning when I had my coach. I was like, I'm posting and it's just like going into the abyss. Nobody's even seeing it.
Hmm.
So I had to learn about like text with color background. I had to learn like the different styles of posts. I had to learn about like content pillars, like don't always come off at salesy, like do some educational posts, do some inspirational posts. And I had to learn about all those things so that way I could get myself out there and position myself as an expert marketer because I'm learning and I'm feeling that way now. So like part of it was building my confidence and part of it was just the way in which I presented myself on the post that I was creating. And then also being consistent, right? Because
Yeah.
I knew I had to build trust with my audience. I knew just coming into your group, people weren't going to want to care what Alicia Tavares is saying. It's that, right? Seeing me consistently post about the same things all the time, also provide education. And then most recently, what I've been doing in your group is I've been like using some of my posts as a way to have other members share what they're doing. Like I've been
Hmm.
doing a lot of like, hey, if you want to make money online, like what are you doing right now that's successful for you? So I'm not even just positioning it right now as a space for me to make an income, but lately I've been creating a space for people to post in my comments thread and share what they're doing because I'm always going to be open minded to doing new things now. I invest in myself all the time and I wasn't doing that before, but now that I'm actually like seeing movement and seeing that like I become more successful each time I do that, I'm
Hmm.
always open to new opportunities. So when people are sharing this in my thread, I'm reading it and I'm looking to see if it's anything I would be interested in. And I'm also finding like-minded individuals in my thread, and I'm following them, and I'm messaging them sometimes and being like, "Hey, like, good for you!" Like, or like, "What are you doing? Can you share that with me?" So I mentioned travel. I've done a post about like health and wellness, all different areas that I've dabbled in, and I'm just seeing what's out there. And in turn, I'm giving them the space to be seen too. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, I love that. And so you're really tapping into the Facebook algorithm when you do that. When you're doing those engagement style posts, maybe you're not selling on that specific post, but like you said, you're building relationships, you're building connections, you're actually getting that authority. People are starting to recognize your name because they're commenting on your post. But I love that you took it a step further. You're actually connecting with people on your under your posts who've commented that you resonate with, that can actually be an ideal fit for your offer, right? So let's dive into that a little bit deeper. What strategies are you using to get clients in Facebook groups? I know you talked a little bit about it.
Yeah, a little bit. So, depending on my posts, I'm doing the typical I will post and share about specific products that I'm promoting, and I'll lead with like a CTA. So, like drop AI if you want to learn more about this or something along those lines. And then if somebody responds to me, I'll either ask them to message me or I'll message them, depending. And then I'll also automatically follow them because now I know that this is something they want to learn and they may not be ready to dive fully in. But by me following them, they usually follow back and then they can see what it is I'm doing. And then I think there's like a greater level of comfortability over time, seeing me consistently doing that, not only building trust, but maybe liking what they're seeing more because they're seeing how I'm using what I do. So that's part of it. And I will make an effort to follow most people that I feel are my audience. And I will try to make an effort to engage too on the comment threads. And I'll try to make sure I'm consistent with my posting daily. If it's just once, great. If it's twice, awesome. But I'm always really consistent about that. And I always try to bring it back to like the make money online and also the incorporation of the AI and having a strong brand.
Yes, that's awesome. So now you're building your audience. And I feel like Facebook and Facebook groups is one of the fastest ways that you can actually build an audience of buyers. So you really shared a lot of value when you talked about what you were doing there. So, what does it look like for you when you're actually writing a good post that attracts attention or leads? How are you brainstorming through that process in that content creation?
I'm trying to put myself in the position of where I was back in May of 2024. I still have moments, right? Like it's not a perfect linear system. I think like as an entrepreneur, we have really great runs where it's like a month where like great sales, we're doing so good. And then all of a sudden it's like crickets and you're like, wait, do I need to pivot? Like, what is this? So I've had moments like that too. But I always bring myself back to my why. Like, what was my reason for starting this in the first place? Because I know that my why is very relatable. I'm a mother, I work full time, I have 2 kids, I'm married, I want to have more moments with them, but I also love what I do. So, how can I bring in that added income without stressing myself out more? So, I'll take my own challenges and I'll phrase them in a way where it attracts my audience and I'm really hitting on those pain points, right? Because it's just so relatable right now. So, I'll start with that and then I'll bridge it into how what I do right now has led to like the resolution, like how this is the answer, like this is what worked for me. And usually when people can relate to that, they'll want to know more about what it is I'm doing. But I'll do different style posts. So I'll do posts where it's like educational and I'll give them like a little bit of what's in maybe like whatever the product is that I'm promoting. And then I'll say if you'd like to know more, comment, whatever, or I'll do something that's a little bit more like skeptical or not skeptical, but like hinting on what I'm doing, but like more
Like
like
curiosity.
I can't think of the word right now, but just like trying to like spike that curiosity. And then that will attract people too. So I'll try to do different style posts like that. I'll do the text and color background. And then I'll also demo the products that I'm an affiliate to. So people can be like, oh yeah, like she's using that. She's not just taking something she knows nothing about and is trying to make money from me. Because that is like the last thing I want people to ever think. I mean, I've talked people out of purchasing my products before because I'm like, you don't need it. But like that's why I understand now that it's so important to get into the DMs because you don't know that person's situation. And sometimes they don't want to hear me. They just want my link or they don't want anything. They're not ready. But like that's been my process of learning. And I have to remind myself, like, this is not my journey. This is their journey. I'm where I am, they're where they are, and it may not be the right time. But at least I've reached out and explained what it is I'm doing. And so now they know and I'm here when they're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And we find that so many women are afraid of the DMs. I don't find men so much, but women. So I love that you shared that. But you see, there is a process here, Alicia. You have a strategy in place for what you're doing. And although we love AI, I know you have an AI tool, which is amazing. You're actually putting thought into the copywriting aspect. So even though we have AI, I feel like it's important for women to understand that you still have to put your experience into writing the content that you're creating on social media, exactly how you explain. So I love that for our community. So, Alicia, let us know a little bit about the results that you've gotten inside of our community in terms of leads, clients, partnerships. What does that look like for you?
So a couple different things have happened. The first one is I started in the group, I started meeting people, right? I started making connections. That was step one. I also met you and I joined one of your programs. I think it was like a pilot program at the time, which I have to go back to and get better at. But I met you and like again, I've met like these really strong women that are in a much better place than I am, but are so inspirational. So like for me, I want to get myself in front of people that have so much more experience than me because I know I can learn from them. So part of it has been that connecting with women that are just so successful now. And I get to ask them, like, how do you do what you do and learn from that? That's big for me. Another piece is I made customers this way. And the ones that I formed really strong relationships with, whenever I have a new product that I promote, they're like, hey, Alicia, like, what are you doing? What is this? But a lot of times they'll just go ahead and purchase. And that's crazy to me. I didn't think that would ever happen because I had such a slow start. But some will just like, they'll just do it because they trust me and that's really really cool. So I have like my customer base of people that follow me and interact with me and are always paying attention to what I'm doing. I have the ones that have started following me from like your group in particular and will respond to my CTA but not go much further yet. But I've gotten an audience and I position myself in a way where it's an audience that's interested in what I do.
Mhm.
Another thing that happened, it hasn't formally happened yet, and I'm not sure if it came from your group. I think it did. Two things. One person contacted me that is creating her own fashion line,
Oh,
and
nice.
she loves my AI twin, and she wants me to use my twin to model her collection when she's ready to show it to the world. So it's in the makings. I haven't talked to her in a bit, but it was really cool. She reached out to me a couple months ago, and then once I think last month to be like, "Hey, I'm still working on this." But I was just really flattered by that. Like, it's really important for me to get really a whole lot better with my presentation of like my AI stuff, and I've really grown a lot since last July. And for somebody to reach out to me and ask that, I was like, "Wow, I'm getting attention in like the best way possible, and people are wanting to use what I'm doing." So when I went into this, I didn't really know where I was going to go aside from like promoting products. But
Yeah.
along the way, I could see it opening up other doors. Another person reached out to me and asked me to speak about AI and what I do with it in a summit. That is going to be, I think, next month. so long as it happens. And yeah, so I was invited to do that in front of individuals that are starting to learn AI. And I was just, again, like really flattered by that. And you asked me to be interviewed, which I was also very flattered by.
That is so cool. So Alicia's getting leads from our community. She's making income. She's getting sales, repeat buyers, which I love. Getting authority, being asked to speak, and this model thing is so cool. I see your AI images and they're so gorgeous. Alicia, I love them. So you get to use that creativity. So, what advice would you give some of our community members who actually want to grow their own business online?
I definitely would have an open mind. I would really focus on mindset. I think it's really scary diving into this space. I had a lot of anxiety going into it. I was really like, I had a lot of negative thoughts. And I think that that got in my way in the beginning. And I think it kind of like slowed me down because I would always be like, oh my God, I'm not making any sales. What am I doing wrong? Or what if this doesn't work out? What if I'm putting myself in debt by like making all of these investments? Or all the mindset that you don't want to have as an entrepreneur. You want to do the exact opposite, right? Like what could go right? So part of it is your mindset. Like you really have to believe in yourself and believe that you could do this. And when I first started, I made a promise to myself. Like it started out being, you're just going to get your investment back. Then it was
Yeah.
you're just trying to make this, then you're going to try to make this. So each time I continue to grow, I'll create a new challenge for myself. And I always tell myself, like, never give up because everybody that is successful in this space had to start in the bottom too. And they didn't give up.
Exactly.
And just like what we see on Facebook and on all these social media platforms, everything looks way better than what it is.
Yeah.
And even the most successful people in this space struggle, whether they talk about it or not. And I'm happy to talk about my challenges. Like sometimes what I do is I'll share with people what not to do because I
Mhm.
learned. So if I can help people in that way, I'm happy to do that too. Because I definitely stumbled a lot in the very beginning. And just with how stubborn I am, I put myself in a spot where the first year I probably could have been seeing success a lot sooner, but I was just like, I have this product. I'm going to make a lot of sales. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to make TikTok work. And then in December, I was like, okay, no, TikTok is not working for me. So, like, if it's not working for you, instead of quitting, pivot. Like, pivot, consider another avenue. There's so many different options out there to make money in this space. And whatever you choose to do, stick with that one thing because it's so easy to be like, I'm going to do UGC. I'm going to do AI twins.
Yeah.
I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to start a quote page. Like, there's just so many things. And I share them as an affiliate, but I try not to get sucked into doing all of them right now because I know that that's going to basically pause my success because I'm going to be dabbling in things, but I'm not giving my 100% to the very specific thing that should be my number one priority. So I think going into it, it's mindset, it's not giving up, and it's staying focused. And it's also staying organized and really focusing on time management because I'm so busy all the time. I really have to have structure. And I just have to like make this commitment that like every night before bed, I'm going to do my story slides and every morning I'm going to do my posts. And I'm just very regimented and that's how I get things done. And I have to be accepting every day that I don't accomplish nearly what I want to, but there's 24 hours in a day. And it's also so important as a person to take care of yourself. And you
Yeah.
can get really lost in this space and you can get really burned out. So self care is really important. So even if you are dedicated and consistent, if you're feeling burned out, like this space will always be here. So if you have to step away, like it's not going anywhere. So I think
Absolutely.
that's important too. And not to get discouraged over the money. Like I said, I didn't start making sales until last July. So I did make some sales, but it wasn't much. It was like maybe like a handful.
Yeah.
Go from that to like daily sales, even though they were low ticket, I went. And that for me is huge as like doing this part time on the side when I have like a couple seconds in my
Yes.
day. So for me, that's a huge win. And I see people doing way more and way less or nothing at all. And I wouldn't compare yourself. Like if you're just getting in a space, don't compare yourself. Those who are doing better than you, learn from them, follow them, see what they're doing. Those who aren't doing well or even maybe not doing as well as you are, like inspire them, lift them up, tell them it's going to get better. And that's where it's really important to share what you're learning along the way. So people who are struggling can see that and they can maybe take those pointers and apply them to their own journey.
Okay, awesome, Alicia. Well, Alicia, you're definitely a powerhouse, and you've shared so much with us in terms of consistency, right? You have a regimen for yourself. You're still working full time. You're making a change to your life in terms of bringing in this life-changing income that you set out to create for you and your family. You actually have achieved that, and there's going to be so much more to come. What's one mistake that you see entrepreneurs making that's holding them back?
So two things actually. So one is not pivoting and the other is pivoting too quickly. I think like one is not giving it enough of a shot. I think it's so funny because when you're not in the online space, you go to school, right? You get an education. You're not getting paid while you do that and get your education, right? And then you have to dip your toe in and start to like build the experience afterwards. So for example, for me, I went to college for 6 years and then I had to like actually become a clinician and actually start seeing patients and getting used to that. But I wasn't immediately good at this and I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. And it took me like 6, 7, 8 years to really start feeling good about what I was doing. So to come in this space and expect to become rich overnight is just completely not realistic. I don't care what anybody says. It's going to take time and you have to remind yourself of that. Like online space is no different. Yes, we do have a capability of making money a bit quicker than a long college education, sure, but you still
Mhm.
have to learn the skills. And I think the other piece is for those who are doing like marketing, if you don't learn the foundational skills, you're not going to be able to sell anything. And that was what happened to me. I didn't learn about a trust funnel. I didn't learn buyer psychology. I didn't learn magnetic messaging. I didn't learn that terminology until like the past year. And that's made a huge difference for me. And that's why I connect with people now. And that's why I think I'm seeing a lot of the results. If you have those foundational skills, you can make any business work, I believe.
Awesome. So we know our audience members are probably really excited to connect with you. So what are the best ways that our audience can find you, connect with you, or follow you?
I would definitely say Facebook. This is my primary platform. I dabbled a little bit in Instagram and threads, but I don't trust myself in being consistent and checking my messages over there. Just being with the little time that I have, I've just made Facebook like my ultimate priority. And once things are
Yeah.
running more automated for me, I'll definitely start moving into other platforms. But right now, this is where I communicate with people. I always tell people to send a message to my DMs because a lot of times I end up in other people's spam. So I would just shoot me a DM and then, yeah, I'm happy to connect and provide any kind of help I can.
Okay. And do you have any programs, services, or offers that you want our audience to check out? I know you talked about your AI prompts, but is there anything else you want to share or specifics about that offer?
Yeah, so I love my AI products, but I really think again that you got to learn those foundational skills. I cannot say enough good things about Create Faceless Wealth. Some people have heard of it, some people haven't, but it's a full-blown faceless system. It teaches you all of those foundational skills. It's so simple and it's step by step. The community is fantastic. Nancy's fantastic, the creator. It's something I can fully stand by and say that I saw very quick results very quickly. And it also provides you with UGC. It provides you with learning about AI twins. It provides you with Amazon reviews, virtual, like all of these different income opportunities. But it talks so much about before you do that, learn the foundation. And that's where people are skipping it. And that's why the tools aren't working. And that's why they're not seeing the success. So for me, that is like the biggest step one is go there. And then you can play around with the other stuff, but learn the skills and it'll definitely fast track you to seeing success versus doing the opposite.
Yes, thank you so much, Alicia. So Alicia is definitely focused on Facebook. Highly emphasis is placed on Facebook community. So that's still a thing, despite what other people are saying. So Alicia, thank you so much for sharing your story with us and your insights with us about our community, successful women entrepreneurs. And for everyone watching, stories like Alicia's are exactly why this community exists. We have 500,000 women entrepreneurs inside of our group. And every week we have new opportunities, collaborations, and clients are being created right here. If you're not if you're not already inside of our community, successful women entrepreneurs, make sure you join using the link in the descriptions. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Thanks for having me.